Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and today's topic is great. And you know that at the Marriage Foundation, we do things very differently. We're not like the mainstream. We don't look into the past and dig things up and try to solve things that are basically unsolvable. Our whole emphasis is on what you can do now to improve your marriage, to make it so much better, to make it perfect. And there are perfect marriages. So the topic for today are the top 10 ways to make your husband happy. And I'm saving the best for last, not just to keep you here, but because I think it's so important and I want to talk about it for a while. So let's get right into this. Number one, and don't be afraid of this, but eliminate your anger. You know, we have articles on this topic as well. And I got a comment on one of our articles about anger from someone who was a therapist who was so angry that, that ironic, right? That I would suggest that anger is not a good thing. Can you imagine? Who thinks that anger is good? And this therapist said, anger's a good thing. You need anger. Obviously, he was a man, right? But men don't need anger either. There's a lot of things that are natural that are not good. Anger is probably the top one. Anger is instinctive. It comes from our primal selves. You know, we're souls. We have a body and we have a mind. This is not a religious discussion, but we're souls. We're so far above our bodies, and because of our bodies impacting our psychology, we behave sometimes like animals. Anger is an instinctive reaction. It's based in fear. Nothing else. It's based in fear. And it's a subconscious calculation that there's something to be afraid of. So it's obscure. We don't know why we get angry, but we do know this. You have free will. Free will trumps everything. Because with free will, you could choose your very next action. Be it a thought, be it something you say, be it a look. Who wants to be assaulted by someone's anger? You have no doubt shown your anger to your husband. No doubt. We're all guilty of having done that. So you cannot just say, okay, I'm not going to be angry anymore. Yet you can say, I am going to work on no longer having anger within me. And my first step will be that I will no longer express anger to my husband. My husband expects me to love him. My husband expects me to be there for him, to give him good tidings, not evil tidings. So eliminate anger. Get rid of it. Now, obviously, it's going to be difficult if you just try to do that, but we can help you with that. Eliminate anger. That will make your husband, trust me, that'll make your husband really happy because he probably does not have the tools necessary to deal with it. There are tools. You should have the tools necessary to deal with his anger. You can't get him to stop. He can't get you to stop, but you can get you to stop. Eliminate the anger. It'll make him very happy. And that's number one. And that's why it's number one, because it eclipses all the good stuff. So let's go to number two. Number two is interesting. Listen beyond his words. We don't do this for some reason. I don't know why we don't. Once you discover this, not only will it make him happy, it'll make you happy too, because you'll realize that there's no nefarious intent on his part when he says something to you. Usually, because he loves you, he wants to make you happy. So when he speaks about something, listen, but don't just listen to the words. Try and understand what is behind those words. Is he feeling something that you can step in and give him some positive upliftment around? Don't try to fix anything, by the way. Don't give advice. That's not something that is useful. But be there for him by being a good listener, just like you want. Most people think, oh yeah, just listen to her when we're talking about men. It isn't enough, is it? You know that. You want someone to listen with their heart, to empathize, to be there not just for you, but with you. Same as him. So that's number 2. Number 2 is to listen beyond the words. Number 3, and this is something that you should know already, but you forgot. Smile at him. Smile at him all the time. Never, and don't do the opposite. You know, life is filled with equations. We should, and therefore we shouldn't. Smile at him, therefore we shouldn't frown at him. You should always smile, you should never frown. You should always smile, you should never grimace. You should always smile, you should never roll your eyes. You should always smile, because who doesn't appreciate that? It's going to make him happy to see you smile. What is the most contagious thing of all is happiness. When you're happy, people around you are happy. Don't you want your husband to be happy? This will make him happy. Now, don't be insincere. Don't be that Cheshire cat smiling. No. Make yourself happy. Give yourself reason to smile. I call these workarounds. And when people come to us to fix their marriage, oftentimes they use the course for women, or if it's a man, the course for men. And one of the points that I stress is don't be insincere, but don't allow negativity to take root in your own mind. You have power over your mind. You get to control your mind. We have techniques for that. Control your mind. It's doable. It's possible. You know, the big thing nowadays that the psychologists talk about is embracing your emotions. Nonsense. Don't embrace your emotions. They say that because they don't understand. They misapply emotions and have it mean the same as the higher state of feeling. But that higher state of feeling is the feeling of love in the heart. That's legitimate feeling, and it's not an emotion. Now, you could call it an emotion if you want, but technically an emotion is a software device in your mind that carries things further on so you don't forget them. Don't embrace these things. So you want to smile all the time, but you want to smile because inwardly you're feeling loved, you're feeling happy, joy-filled. You know, there's 2 promises of marriage. One is that you'll be happy, ever-increasing happiness. And the other is that you will feel ever-expanding love. With the free will that you have and the wisdom that is innate to you, you can have those things and you convey those over to your husband. It'll make him happy. Of course it'll make him happy. When you walk into a room and you're upset, you're like a psychological skunk. You're stinking up the whole room with these bad vibes. Well, the opposite is true, and you walk in and you're filled with happiness and joy. It rubs off. And think about it. You know, I wrote a book called Breaking the Cycle, and it really talks about the cycle of I got mad at him, he got mad at me, ba 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 ba, down, 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 you go into a pit. You could reverse that. Smile. Sincerely, but smile. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is to express your love with physical affection. There's all this nonsense going on these days about how you don't want to be a doormat, you don't want to submit to his sexual desires. That's all crazy stuff. The problem is that in Hollywood, and I worked with a lot of Hollywood couples way back. They would drive down to San Diego to see me, and that was 20 years ago. But screenwriters, actors, people you know, I worked with them. They're not the people who are divorced. And this was a very important point, because in Hollywood, they've turned sex into what I call recreational sex. But in marriage, sex is not to be recreational. Occasionally, why not? But mostly it's used as a conveyance of your love. That's what it's supposed to be. It's there. It's a primal thing, right? It's instinctive. It's within us to procreate. It's part of our drive to survive, is we're supposed to procreate. So we have this drive telling us, have sex, have sex, have sex. But as souls who are in charge of our minds, we're not supposed to give in to those cravings at the lowest level. But we use that and meld it with our desire for joy of the heart, of the love, of the communal love that you have with your husband. It's a very spiritual, beautiful thing. Employ it. Don't be afraid of sex. Turn it into your best friend in your marriage. And I don't mean by using it to manipulate him. Of course not. But use sex to convey your love. You'll knock his socks off. He'll be so happy. And so will you. His happiness will make you happy. Your happiness will make him happy. Okay, so that is number 4. Express your love with physical affection. Don't be afraid of it. Don't buy into the nonsense in the mainstream that makes you afraid of it. Go for it. Okay, number 5. This is a tough one, but never react. The problem is that no one has trained us or taught us about the nature of being able to control our inner reactions and convert them. And so what tends to happen is, and here's how, I'm going to tell you exactly how it works. So picture this. You're walking down the street. This is a metaphorical, an analogous example. So you're walking down the street and your eyes see something. And what happens is, don't forget, everything is energy, everything. So what happens is your sight is putting out energy to capture things, and it's driven by the drive to survive. And then it sees something, and it comes in, and what happens when it comes in? You don't consciously calculate whether it's something to admire, love, or fear, do you? However, what has happened has been that your mind has created filters based on past experiences of seeing something similar, so it's able to react. Well, when you're with your husband, never allow those filters to rule you. Stop. Don't let your mouth open. Analyze what you're experiencing with him. So instead of reacting, you are responding, and that way you know, it's a rule, always respond in a loving way to everything and anything. Even if he's mean, you could still be loving. He doesn't control you. You control you. You have free will. Only you are responsible for your behavior. He's not. You can blame him if you want to. What's that going to get you? It's not going to be helpful. It's not going to be useful. It's not going to bring joy into your marriage, that's for sure. So no more reactions. And if you have a positive reaction, if the filter presents a positive reaction, Still stop and make your response stepped up even more positive, because you're in charge of you. Makes you in charge of your marriage, because there's only two of you running your marriage. And if one of you does something proactively, it moves the marriage either forward or backward. Makes sense, doesn't it? Everything at the Marriage Foundation is logical. I say that it's mathematical, scientific, and methodical, because your marriage is a thing that you want to get the benefits of happiness and joy from. Love. Okay, so never react is number 5. Number 6 is praise and support. Proactively praise and support. Look for opportunities. Do it with love. Again, going back to the sincerity, make sure it's sincere. Make sure it's real. But there's tons of things that you will find. You know, when I used to work with people in my office, before we had the courses, before we had the Marriage Foundation, I'm talking about 20 years ago, and I'm not talking about before then when I was a divorce mediator. But I kept my divorce mediation tools when I worked with people, and I had a great big whiteboard, 4x8. And I proved to people, very simple illustration. I took my whiteboard and I put 6 dots on it, black dots. And I said, what do you see? Everyone said, I see 6 black dots. What do you see? I see 6 black dots. And I say, think about that. Here you have a whiteboard. It's just white as can be, covers the wall, and you see 6 black dots. And this is what we do. We don't see the beautiful purity of our soulmate soul. We see the 6 black dots. Praise and support. Don't see the black dots. See the white. See the positive. And praise and support. Okay, number 7. Never blame him. It doesn't do any good. Taking this out of your relationship, this blame. Oh, look what you did this time. Oh my God, you left the dogs out. Oh my God, even if he did, it doesn't matter. It's not going to do good, it's going to do harm. Doing harm is the opposite of making him happy. So eliminate blame. Along with it, eliminate criticism, condemnation, complaining. Okay. Number 8. That's pretty self-evident, isn't it? Come on. Number 8. Be calm. We live in a world where everyone is like this. They're just hyper. You know, it's funny. And the truth is, I have been meditating since 1972, so I am calm. Calmness is something you could achieve in many ways. That's my way. But there's other ways. Breathing exercises. Tense your body. Hold it. Okay, now do it with me. All right, here we go. Exhale. Now inhale, and as you inhale, tense your body. Vibrate it. Tense so much. Hold it. Count to 6. Feel how relaxed your body is? There are so many ways to bring calmness into your personal life. When you're calm, he's calm. You will stand out by being calm in this world. People come up to me at Starbucks. Do I know you? I said, no. Wow, there's something about you. I'm not a great man. I'm just a calm man. Be a calm woman. That will make your husband happy. He'll want to be with you. He'll want to hang out with you. But if you're excited and running and it's hard to keep up with that. So be calm. Okay. Number 9. This is so basic. How come you don't know this? You should be writing to me, say, I knew that. Be proud of him. Are you kidding me right now? He is the man you chose to be with for the rest of your life, to love and nurture and appreciate. Be proud of him. Go back to those dots. Forget those frickin' dots on the whiteboard. See him for who he is and be proud of him. It's uplifting for a man, because a man is, by his gender, psychophysiologically designed to be the protector of the wife and children. It's deep. I don't mean deep, wow, that's deep. I mean, it's deep in our subconscious minds. When you're proud of him, you're acknowledging him for his usefulness. That's very important to a man. Okay, number 10, and I told you I was saving the best for last. It's also perhaps the most difficult, but I hope not. And if it is, I want you to work on it. Push the boundaries of love. Now, love has no boundaries, but your mind imposes them upon you. This is the big deviation between the teachings that I present and the teachings of the Western psychological world. They don't believe that love is its own thing. They think it's an increased like. It isn't. It's real. It's tangible. You've experienced it. It overwhelms us. It overwhelms the mind. And the mind wants to contain it, wants to give it context, wants to come up with reasons. And you shouldn't. You should fall in to your love. Why do you think they call it falling in love? It's because love is eternal. It has no boundaries. There are many who say that God is love and love is God. This is not some cute poetic thing. You cannot define love, not the real thing. So you have to push the boundaries by pushing the boundaries of your mind. And how do you do that? You don't accept limitations. And when your mind comes up with a reason why you love him, push it out of the way and go, no, it's so much more. No, it's much more than that. No, it's more than that. And uplift yourself into the spirit of love. Love is spiritual. And then let it flow on him. I tell people this. I say, visualize, because it always helps to visualize. Your love is liquid. And that your heart is a reservoir of this love. It's not its origin. The origin isn't you. The origin, and again, I'm not religious, God is the origin of love, right? Imagine that he's flowing his love into you and you block it with your heart. I'm only going to give so much love. No, I don't love him. Look what he's done to me. I don't love her. Look what she did. Open it up. Because when you open up that liquid love to flow, open up the doors of your heart. Let it flow, and it will come in, and you will feel that love. You're not going to feel love from another person. Your mind will tell you, oh, this person likes you, oh, this person can be trusted, this person has this, da-da-da-da. But love is above all of that. Allow your love to dominate your marriage. It's what your marriage is all about. Look, I've presented some things that should be common sense, but the world is a messed up place. We have to learn what I'm now teaching because it's not out there. We have to even learn to control our minds because we weren't taught that as we were children, which is when we should have begun. But you've come to this now. You're here now. There's a reason for that, isn't there? Take advantage of it. All my love to you and to your husband and your family, your friends, your community, your city, your country, and the world. God bless you. Thank you for spending time with me. Take care.